She really finna whoop me butt ass naked.
Come and shed your black cloud for your vibe.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. That's me right here, girl. That's my mom. Super cute. I need some more. So, hey guys, welcome back. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel, girl, because we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna be doing a motherfucking story time. You know, one of my favorite things to do is to fucking talk. So this story is crazy and it's actually kind of long. It's like 3 parts to the story, but I'm gonna really try to like speed it up so that like I won't have you guys here all day. So get your motherfucking food, get your snacks, get your chips, get your whatever. Ooh, would this be cute if I did it like this? It's cute, guys, or is this ugly? Or is it like, bitch, just, we don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, so, y'all, I'm really just chilling. It's a Sunday. I'm really just chilling. I'm back at school for my little break or whatever. How are you guys doing? How was your Thanksgiving? Good? Okay. Anyways, right into the story. Okay, so this happened. I think I was like, honey, don't fall off my head. I thought this would be cool, and I guess it's not. Okay, so this happened when I was a freshman in high school. Damn. That's crazy, y'all. I'm gonna be 22. The big 2-2 in December. Oh my god, this was so long ago. Anyway, so I was a freshman in high school, and okay, so I was friends with this girl, and we're just gonna name her M. I think we'll just name her M because her name started with M. So we're just gonna name her M. And the guy that was associated with at the time, we're just gonna name him. We're just gonna name him Cum Bucket, okay? Because we don't give a fuck about him. But okay, we're just gonna name him Cum Bucket. Okay, so M and Cum Bucket. Okay, so wait, is that? I don't think I want to name him that. That's kind of weird. I'm gonna name him. Fuck, I can't even think of a name. I'm gonna just name him K. We're just gonna name him K because K, we don't care. So, okay, so one day me and my friend M was at school, was in class, and we was just talking or whatever, and we had made plans for the weekend for me to go over her house. But at this time, my mom was kind of just like not having it, and she was like, no girl, you're not going over there. And if y'all want to hang out or whatever this weekend, she's gonna have to come to our house. And I'm thinking like, whatever. But the reason why we wanted to go to her house because we had made plans to go to his house, to go over Kay's house. And okay, so we had made plans because she stayed kind of close to like where he lived. So we kind of it just made sense for us to go over to her house and then get to his house. But my mom wasn't having it. She was like, no, you can't go over there. So Am decided to just still come to my house. And so we were so determined to go to Kay's house. Like, honey, like we were determined. So we ended up telling Kay that we weren't able to come over to her house. So I remember I had asked him like, could he just come get us or get us a ride or whatever, and he couldn't. So I remember he was like, well, ask your brother, because at the time my big brother, he had a car. And so he was like, ask your brother or whatever, and I'll give him $20 in gas. And honey, $20 in gas. At this time, this day and age, people be throwing like a little bit of gas, $5, $2.50. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? So $20 in gas was a lot. And my brother, obviously he wanted the gas money. So I told him, I was like, hey, can you take us to Kay's house or whatever? And, you know, he'll give you $20 in gas. So my brother ended up saying yes. Okay, y'all. So it was really like really late at night. It was probably like 11 o'clock at night, honey. Super late. and both my parents were asleep. So keep in mind, we basically were sneaking out the house because my parents were asleep and they had no idea that we were leaving or anything. So I remember we get in the car, and it was my big brother and my big cousin. And I remember they told me, they were like, oh, if you get caught, we don't know nothing, all this extra shit. And I'm just like, okay. And they were just giving me this pep talk that I bet not snitch on them, that they're taking me over here this late at night. And so I'm just like, okay, like, I'm not gonna say nothing. And so we pull up to Kay's house, and we get there, and I'm calling him to, you know, tell him like, hey, we're outside. And keep this in mind, guys. M was supposed to be talking to Kay's cousin. So M was supposed to talk to Kay's cousin, and I was supposed to obviously be with Kay, you know? So it was just gonna be us four. So I kept calling or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, we're outside, you know what I'm saying? But he wouldn't answer the phone. Then he finally calls me back, and he's like, hey, Bree, come here. And I'm just like, no, like, come outside and bring us the gas. Like, what are you talking about? And so he's like, no, like, come here. And I'm just like, he's like, come get it. And I'm like, okay. So I tell my brother or whatever, I'm just like, I'm gonna run inside and grab the gas. So my brother, and my cousin stayed outside. So I get inside, and he, like, grabs me or whatever, and he's like, I don't got your brother's gas. Like, laughing like this shit's funny. And I'm just like, nigga, what do you mean I don't have his gas? Like, are you trying to get your ass beat? Like, what are you talking about? And so he's like, oh, no, I don't have his gas. I just told you that so I can get you over here. Baby boy. Like, so, y'all. Okay, so then I'm just like, well, you're gonna go outside and tell him you don't have his gas. I'm not going out there. I'm not telling him, yada, yada, yada. He's like, no, go tell him. And I'm like, no, you go tell him. And so, long story short, he was like, all right, I'll tell him. And keep in mind, my brother, like, kind of peeps game. He's just like, what the fuck? Like, when I kept calling him or whatever. And it took me a long time because I was in the house talking to him for, like, kind of a while. And they were just waiting for the gas, you know? And so me and Kay walk outside, and my brother and my cousin are, like, sitting on the car like this, like, with their arms crossed, like, pissed off. And so, you know, my brother's like, what's up? Like, you know, nigga, where's the money? And basically he was like, bro, I don't got it. And they just started going back and forth, arguing. Like, it got really intense. Like, the way I'm explaining it is, like, not as intense as, like, it was. So they were, like, arguing, like, really, really bad or whatever. And so, basically, like, my friend M gets out the car or whatever. And so my cousin and my brother was going back and forth with him, obviously. And basically my brother was trying to say that I set him up, that I knew he didn't have gas the whole time or whatever. That I just told him that so that he could drop me off. And I'm just like, no, honey, like, that's not the case. I didn't know he didn't have the gas. And so, basically, then my brother and my cousin, they get in the car, and I'm just like, let's go in. Like, I told Kay, I was like, I'm going home, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm mad, because I'm like, how you just gonna lie and say you have gas and you don't? And so I get in the car, and I'm thinking I'm finna, you know, go home. And no. So we try to get in the car, whatever. My brother locks us out, locks the doors, and he's like, bye, you find your own way home, you know what I'm saying? Because he's mad because I set him up when I didn't even fucking know that he didn't have the gas. So me and Anna's just standing there looking dumb as fuck, honey. And he speeds off, y'all. Like, he just speeds off. And I remember my cousin rolling down the windows, and he's like,
you better enjoy that dick slapping last.
because they knew we were I was gonna eventually get caught or some shit. And I'm just thinking, like, honey, at this age, y'all, I wasn't doing nothing, you know, like, nothing at all. I was 16 at the time. But anyway, so this is so funny. And so me and M go in his house or whatever, and I'm pissed off at Kay because I'm just like, you're such a fucking liar, yada yada yada. So 5 minutes went past, and I just got over it. I was like, fuck it, we're here now. So it was me, M, Kay, and Kay's cousin, and we were just all downstairs chilling. And so eventually Kay wanted to just go upstairs with me, you know. And so he's like, hey, let's go upstairs or whatever. So I asked M, is it okay if, you know, if you just chill out with his cousin or whatever? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. So we go upstairs and we're just chilling. And, you know, we get a knock at the door because the door was shut. And M was knocking on the door. And she goes, I want to go home. And I'm just like, what happened? Like, what's wrong, you know? She looked very, like, stunned, like, shocked or something. Like, I don't know. So she's like, I want to go home. And keep in mind, the house that we were at Kay's, like, cousin's house or something like that. It was kind of close to where she lived on the same side of town. So, like, she kind of knew the area. And she's like, oh, no, I want to go home. And I'm just like, why? Like, what happened? So she pulls me to the hallway and she's like, I want to leave because he's touching on me and I don't want him touching on me. Like, I don't like it. And I'm just like, honey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting mad at, like, for her. You know what I'm saying? So I go tell Kay, I'm like, you need to tell your cousin to chill because he's touching my friend and she don't like it. And he's like, okay, yada, yada, yada. I'll tell him. And she's like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm just going to go home. And I'm like, how are you going to get home? You know what I'm saying? Like, keep in mind, y'all, she came with me. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not really responsible, but I am. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I know these people. Well, I knew him. So I don't want her to just leave. Keep in mind, y'all, at this point, it's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 going on 2 o'clock in the morning. I kid you not. And she's talking about she's finna walk home. Honey, walk where? Like, what are you talking about? So I told Kay, like, what's going on or whatever. And he's like, no, like, why would she walk at this time or whatever? And I'm telling him, like, I tried to convince her to stay or whatever. And he's like, I told him, like, she just doesn't feel comfortable. She wants to go home. And I was like, and I have to go with her because you know what I'm saying? She came with me. And if something happens, it's gonna, you know, fall on me. And so he's like, well, let me ask bro, his cousin, like, if he'll drop him off. Keep in mind, y'all, I told y'all, he told me that he didn't have a ride to come get us. There was a car outside the whole time, and it was the cousin's car. So, honey, what are you talking about? So you really could have came and got us, and that's just crazy to me. So, I don't know. So I'm like, okay. So I end up going out to the hallway and telling her, hey, like, I think I'll get you a ride or whatever. Us a ride, because I was going to leave with her regardless. And so I was like, his cousin can take you home. And she's like, no, I don't want to get in the car with him. Like, saying she didn't feel comfortable. And I'm thinking, like, honey, like, what did he do to you? Like, it seemed like, I mean, she seemed like, kind of like, okay. But, I don't know. I don't know. She just seemed like really, like, shocked. I don't know. She's like, no, I'm not getting in the car with him. I'm like, it's not just gonna be you and him. It's gonna be me, Kay, and him. Like, we just sit in the back seat. And she's like, no, yada, yada, yada. So I tell Kay, like, she's not going for it. She really, I don't know what your cousin did to her, but she really just doesn't even want to ride or nothing. And so Kay is just like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what we're gonna do or whatever. And she's like, I'm fine. I'll just walk. And you can stay here. And I'm like, honey, why would I do that? Like, that's fucked up. Like, why would I just have you go walking outside at 2 o'clock in the morning? And so she's like, well, I'm going home or whatever. I was like, well, I'm coming with you. And she's like, okay. So it's okay. I was like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I can't have her out there walking home by herself. And he's like, well, let me at least walk y'all home. Like, so you know what I'm saying? And I felt better about that because keep in mind, it's late. It's not really a good neighborhood. And if something happens to us, we're 2 females. You know what I'm saying? So I felt better to at least have him walk with us. And she was like, no, he's not walking with us type shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, your cousin must have really pissed her off because this ain't making no sense, honey. And so, and keep in mind, y'all, it was kind of chilly too. So, honey. So, she basically was like, no, like, he's not walking with us. So he was like, well, let me at least walk y'all halfway. You know what I'm saying? He was pushing to, like, make us feel a little bit more safe. And she said no. She wasn't having it, honey. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, you know what? We'll be okay. I'll just call you when we get there to let you know we made it, because we were walking to her house, because obviously we couldn't go to my house. We was on a completely different side of town. So I was like, I'll just call you when we get to her house. I'll let you know that we made it. And so he's like, okay, whatever. And so we start walking, and I'm pissed. We're walking over railroad tracks. I hear dogs barking from midway. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like, I was pissed off because I'm just like, are you fucking serious? So we finally get to her house. I'm not joking. Like, by the time we get there, we probably left at like 2:30, maybe 3. I'm not sure. By the time we get there, the fucking sun was out. Like, the sun was coming up. So it was like a long walk, honey. A long walk. Thank God we made it there safe and nothing happened, but I was pissed. I was so sleepy, so all I could really think about doing was going to sleep. Like, as soon as I got to her house, I just crashed. My phone was dead. I didn't put it on the charger. And totally, like, the night before, I snuck out the house. My parents don't know where I'm at, you know, type stuff. But I just wanted to go to sleep. I was like, I'll deal with it when I wake up. So I wake up and it was probably like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, shit. What time is it? Like, what time is it? And I plug in my phone and I had so many missed calls. I probably had like 30 missed calls from like my mom and my dad, back and forth, back and forth. It was just crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I finally ended up calling my mom back or whatever. And, you know, she went off, honey. She went completely off of me, which I expected. Like, I just knew I was getting in trouble. I knew I was getting my ass beat. I just knew that I just knew it was coming. So she went off on me. And then, and then all I know is both my parents was at work. And I remember my mom was like saying, oh, I'm gonna come get you when I get off. And I think she got off at like 7 in the evening. So I was like, yes, because then I'll have time to rest, prepare my mind mentally and physically for this ass whooping, honey. But the tea is, she ended up telling me she was gonna come and get me at that time. But then she ended up calling me right back. And she's like, no, actually, your brother's on his way to come get you. He's coming to get you. The one who took me to Kay's house. And I'm like, oh my God. She just wanted me to go home. Like, she didn't want me to be over there. Like, I don't know. So I was like, oh my goodness. And so I was like, okay. So my brother and my cousin pull up. Keep in mind, they're still mad at me from the night before because they felt like I set them up. So it was just a whole bunch of fucking energies in the car, honey. I was pissed. I was frustrated because I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, I'm gonna get my ass beat. I'm gonna get my phone took, everything. And they were coming at me and talking shit because they're like, oh, they're still talking about last night. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I was just, you know what I'm saying? I was just frustrated and everything. And I just was feeling like everybody was attacking me. So I was just like, pull over the car, I'm getting out. Just acting crazy, honey. And it was like, no. And they were yelling at me and shit. And I just started acting crazy. I started punching the seat. Like, honey, what are you doing? Like, I just started acting like a maniac because I was mad. Like, I just felt like everybody was coming for me. And so I remember I was acting crazy. And my cousin was like, you better sit your monkey ass down. All this extra shit. I felt like a kid. He had to put the seatbelt on me. Like, it was just too much, honey. Too much. You're doing too much. So we finally get home. And I crashed. I was still super sleepy. I didn't get in the shower. Honey, don't come for me. But I didn't take a shower or none of that. Like, I just was so tired to the point. Like, I just felt so sleepy. And this is exactly what I had on. I had on like a sports bra and like some little sporty shorts or whatever. And I wore that to their house. And it wasn't nothing like explicit. Like, oh my God, like, did I wear that? Yes, I wore that. I wore that to their house. And I still had it on. So I went right to sleep, you know what I'm saying, wearing the same clothes. Like, bitch, you're nasty. No, y'all, like, don't come for me. Anyways, time passes by and I wake up and my parents still aren't home. I think my dad had got home before my mom did. And so my dad finally gets home. And I remember he pulled me in the room and we just had like a really, really long talk. My dad is super, super chill still to this day. He's still like really, really chill. And like, he doesn't like yell at me like my mom does. Like, I don't know. He still doesn't. Like, he just doesn't. And so we had a nice talk, and I was like, it made me feel so much better, because then I felt like, it's such a relief. Like, I didn't feel like I was still gonna get my ass beat, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, honey, I'm gonna have my dad have my back, because my mom, she wasn't home yet. So time came and she finally fucking got home. I was in my room just chilling on my phone, enjoying it while I could. And she walks in or whatever, and for 30 minutes, I didn't hear nothing because she didn't say nothing to me yet because I guess she was settling in, I think, about to cook dinner and stuff. And so all I know is she called my name. I was like, oh shit. And I don't know anybody who's watching this video if you've ever had a whooping, but you know that moment when you're gonna get a whooping, so you kind of just go to the bathroom and just sit there for a while, act like you're using the bathroom. Yeah, that was me. And you're like, yo, I'm 16. I thought it was, honey. So I end up going into the room. They end up having a long talk with me, asking me what the fuck happened, pestering me. My mom knew. You know what I'm saying? She has that telepathy thing. Moms know. My mom knew that we went to some guy's house. She know we didn't just go over her house because I lied and I told them, oh, her brother came and got us and we went to her house. No, honey. I know you went to some nigga's house. So, yeah, she knew. She's not stupid. She knew. So I ended up telling the truth and I ended up telling her, yeah, I went to Kay's house or whatever. And so, honey... Oh my god. So all I know is we had a long talk and they took my phone, and I remember my mom was like, get out, like talking to my dad, like telling him to get out the room because she was shutting the door, and I knew what was finna happen. I knew. So he goes out the room and it's just me and my mom, and she's like, take your clothes off, and I'm just like, what? Like, she pulls out the belt and she's like, take your clothes off. And I'm just like, honey, like, what are you talking about? Like, even when I already had on a bra and freaking shorts, like, what more do you want from me? And she's like, take it off. And I'm just like, oh my god, is she fucking serious? Is she really finna whoop me butt ass naked? Is she really finna whoop me butt ass naked? And I'm just like crying, like tears is coming out hysterically out my eyes, and she hits me with a belt. And I'm just like, she's like, take it off. And I just start slowly just taking off. I don't think I took off my bra. I didn't take off my bra. Don't think I had to do that. But I think I just had on my underwear. Yes. And she basically was just like, oh, you get naked for that nigga. You get naked to get your ass beat. Just like, oh my god, y'all. It was crazy. Like, yes. It was crazy. And now that I'm thinking back on it, it's funny now, but honey. And I think I remember the situation with my brother and my cousin. I think I ended up ratting them out and telling on them because I don't know how they jumped into the fucking conversation, like when we were all in the room, but they did. Like, why are y'all coming for me? So since you're coming for me, I'm gonna come for you. And so I snitched because my mom wanted to know how did we really get to her house. But really, my brother and my cousin is the one who dropped us off at Kay's house, and we walked to her house from there. So since y'all want to come in the room and talk about, oh, she hasn't been doing her homework type shit, like, what kind of shit is that? Like, we're supposed to have each other's back. So you know what the fuck I did? I said, oh, really? They're the ones who took us. Because at this point, I'm already getting my ass beat, got my phone took. Why the fuck not? What else? What are you gonna do? Since they just was still going off on me. So I don't care. I told, and I was like, oh yeah, they're the one who took us. And yeah, they didn't really get in trouble though, to be honest. They were 18. Well, I mean, they didn't get in trouble. And so, yes guys, that is today's story. It was crazy. I tried not to make this video too long because sometimes I do tend to talk too much. So, yes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's story time. I really enjoy doing these. I have so many crazy stories. But, anyways, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Woo, happy holidays, all that other good shit. And, yes, so I'll be uploading this video. And then, if you have not checked out my next video, I think it should be up at this time. The time you're watching this video, go check out my next video. And make sure you guys subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers by the end of December, honey. And if I hit 300 subscribers by the end of December, honey, I know I'm gonna have 500 by January. Simple as that. So thank you guys so much for watching and stay tuned for more.
That's